They say convert, pay up or die, and they look you in the eye, knowing you believe the lie that inclusion was everybody's friend, when the truth now we all know that was the beginning of the end. You didn't fight back, you failed to resist, and now the country is under their fist. No sun, no fun, no sky. All the music now must die.
Hello, good afternoon. How the devil are you? It's all a bit quiet here. It's weird. It's something strange. Oh, that's better. Something strange is going on. Anyway, I thought I'd talk about Tourette's. It's not something I am vastly knowledgeable. I don't think at the moment things are going live on Twitter, by the way, or maybe they are. Maybe they are. Don't know. Am I live? Maybe I am. It's weird. It doesn't go straight on my live feed though. So if you're from Twitter, good afternoon, welcome. Anyway, so I have spent most of my last night and this morning, although I was traveling yesterday, arguing with simpletons on Twitter about John Davidson. Now, we have been watching John Davidson for about 30 odd years in this country. And that's because he very bravely wanted to tell everyone just what it's like living with Tourette's. And he has something called coprolalia. Anyway, he's got something which means he says, whatever that thing is that you absolutely shouldn't say, we all have a tiny bit of that sometimes, right? You know, if you meet someone who's just lost a parent, you don't want to say the word dead, dying, or any of those things. Oh, I'm dead. And the thing that you say is things like, oh, I'm dead on my feet. Oh my God, I'm dead tired. Oh, I'm dying for a drink. And these things, like, that's just the thing that you know that you shouldn't say. Now, when you've got this sort of Tourette's, I'm not going to explain it too much because I think we all know. When you've got the coprolalia Tourette's, it means that you cannot help but say the very thing that you know you shouldn't say. And I was trying to explain it to my kids yesterday, and they all understand it because they all watch TikTok, and there's quite a few TikTokers that have it. And um, and I was sort of saying, we don't think about when I'm about to speak to you now, or when you're in conversation, you don't consciously think about what you're going to say, do you? It's not conscious. Um, and so there will be things that you know you shouldn't say, that you know you should say, and they're all somewhere, and our brains work incredibly fast. Well, for this poor man, um, his brain says, do it, do it, do it. And he does it. And so I think we owe him our compassion. And most of us do give him compassion and empathy. Coprolalia. Thank you. Coprolalia. It's so close to a really terrible term. Anyway, so I have described it today as, you know, the lazy bastards who won't do a standing ovation when they can't stand up. The wheelchair users. So I spend most of my Saturdays these days going and tipping out wheelchair users and just walk. Stop being so lazy. But you know that these people will be the same be kind assholes. And there is a particular grievance, and it does seem to be a certain demographic in the United States of America. The most of the people that have come out with the most stupid shit have been a small section of Black Americans more than any other Americans that I've noticed. And then there's a couple of race baiting grifters over in this country, which I won't name because who wants their names in our mouths? And it's just very, very interesting that we all understand that when he says a word, and that word might have more weight in the United States of America, I don't think it does carry such weight here, but we all know not to say it because we don't like it. But it is a very interesting free speech issue as well, and why some words have the sort of collective weight that they do and only some people are allowed to say them. And I think that is a conversation that we'll probably have quite a lot over the next few years, as more and more people really do get a little bit sick and tired with the whole DEI thing being shoved down our throats. So I do think it's quite an interesting word. Certainly not one that I'm going to say or want to say. But it's definitely one that was used in the playground when I was like 5, 6, 7 years old. People definitely said that word, and now we don't. So it's just very interesting. Like, we all understand that he can't help it, and that there's nothing behind it besides it being the ultimate in taboo. I've had people, and I'm sure you've seen them as well, say things like, "Well, he shouldn't go. He shouldn't be out in public with celebrities. Like, it's all right going to Tesco's if he's going to say the N word, but it's not all right with these special celebrities. He shouldn't have been invited to the BAFTAs. He shouldn't have been allowed to be at the BAFTAs. Why was he in the BAFTAs? Well, he was at the BAFTAs because there was a film about his life, which seems to be the most necessary film probably in the whole of the film industry right now. Really interesting. So, anyway, I just think I even agreed with Zara Sultana, who said something about John Davidson, and I totally agreed with her. So, it's uniting the UK against people that are ableist and quite repulsive to a man that used to get shut in a cupboard at school, self-excluded, didn't have any friends, felt isolated, at times suicidal. And then people are jumping on this particular bandwagon to really give him a good kicking. What does he come from? He comes from impoverished. He hasn't got a well-paid job. He's an impoverished man who's done more for people's awareness, certainly in this country, about Tourette's than anybody else. Like, he's the only Tourette sufferer that I can really think has had a dramatic impact on the way that we all think about Tourette's. Um, and so, for him to go to the BAFTAs, that must have been like something completely surreal for him. For someone to make a film about him, um, as like an inspiring story must have been just incredible. And then halfway through, because he realized that people were getting upset with him shouting out, which apparently he did quite a lot, he left and he sat somewhere else to watch it. And I just think that is just incredibly, incredibly cruel. And it's so interesting that we care more about the feelings of a few twats who I don't believe anyone actually was that mortally offended. And if they were when they heard that word, surely they wouldn't have been when they knew who said it. And apparently at the BAFTAs, there was a big warning about the fact that there was someone with Tourette's in there, and um, and there were repeated warnings apparently. So everybody knew that if there were some terrible things coming out, I'm pretty sure that if there'd been a morbidly obese person, he probably would have shouted "fat bastard." It's oh god. Anyway, um, but I do wish he'd shouted "twat" at this woman that we're going to look at, because that would have been that would have been the sort of thing I would shout, and I don't even have Tourette's.
Say some of our thank yous, but I wanted to speak first to my endometriosis community. If your families, partners, friends, employers, and most messed up of all, your doctors, tell you that you're lying, that you're being dramatic, looking for attention, or just have a low pain tolerance, I've got a new response for you. Watch the BAFTA-winning film, This is Endometriosis, and then tell me I'm lying. Endometriosis affects 1 in 10 born with a uterus.
Fuck off! Fuck the fuck off! Fuck off! Fuck off! I couldn't give a fuck what you've won. Let's just hear her again.
And then tell me I'm lying. Endometriosis affects 1 in 10 born with a uterus.
Born with a uterus. What an absolute stupid twat.
Takes on average 10 years to diagnose and causes pain worse than child labour.
Child labour? Do you mean children working? Are you talking about some sort of economic child migrant there? Child labor. Do you mean childbirth? Do you mean women in labor? Fucking hell. The reason endometriosis doesn't get treated with the sort of gravity that it does is because it fucking happens to women. It's not because it happens to people with uterus, born with uterus. Child labor. What a fucking bellend.
Everyone in this room will likely know someone with endometriosis, whether they have their diagnosis yet or not.
Well, is it one of the 4 people on stage? Maybe it's the one with no hair, and the penis. Oh, no, maybe not with the penis. Well, who knows? I wouldn't even know who to ask. I don't know that everybody has a uterus. I have no idea who I would possibly ask.
Our film focuses on validation, representation, and education of endometriosis, and we need all of you for that last part.
Well, it's not gonna happen because you've just really annoyed me. It's the same as people that do breast cancer. It's the same as all of you fuckers. The fundamental reason that some of these things aren't taken seriously is because they happen to women. That's why. Like breast cancer, for example, is a really well-funded thing because we all talk about it. We all talk about breast cancer, apparently. Although I have my own views on whether or not I will be attending my breast screening. I will not. But this idea that you can both simultaneously raise the platform of a condition that only impacts women whilst refusing to say the word woman just makes you a twat.
If you don't know what endometriosis is or what living with it truly means, for the 1 in 10 of us fighting this disease, please watch and share this film.
Well, I won't now. I feel a bit of a dick, but I won't. I wouldn't. I couldn't possibly. I think probably this film you erase women all the way through. Fucking uterus.
To BAFTA and everyone who voted and supported our film, this recognition means so much to this community, and from the bottom of my heart.
You don't have a community because you don't even call us women. So what community are you talking about? Some community. Can you imagine? There's probably some community, and if you say women, and I don't think men do have uteruses, you're probably kicked out of that community. And in fact, in that community, because I know some women who've had hysterectomies on the basis of endometriosis, there are men in those groups larping as women, pretending they've got it too.
Thank you. And thank you to my brother Ralph Wildman for making my dress fund endometriosis research.
This is a grassroots film built by volunteers and driven by a desire to make a small but significant change in the world.
Well, I'm just going to say your brother forgot a lot of material there, which would have been much preferable. And the colour doesn't suit you, but, that's just me being unkind.
So many people helped us bring it to life, far too many to mention. But to Georgie, you are brave beyond comprehension.
What is that on his? I wonder what that is, that badge. Anyway.
And an inspiration to a community that depends on you. Making this film with you has humbled me and taught me that to make films that matter, we must enter creativity with a strong soul and a soft heart. Harriet, thank you for always being a friend first and a producer second. We could never have done any of this without you. To the directors of the other nominated films, Huju, Catherine, Edem, Luis.
Okay, I can't listen to it anymore. What insufferable people. Really, just utter madness. Utter madness. So annoying. Uterus, people with uteruses, or what did she say? Born with uteruses. And child labor. Fucking hell. Childbirth. It's childbirth. Oh. I want to get badges that say you're a twat. So when people go, oh my God, what is that? What wonderful thing are you supporting? Oh, you're a twat. Yeah, you are. Anyway. So I just wanted to talk about that. What was there something else I was going to talk about? No, I don't think so. So this is what I say to you: watch the film. I swear, just absolutely crazy. And thanks, band. Oh look, there's a bloke here called J2 the Joseph. All right, Dave, calm down. You are a fucking racist nut. Okay. Oh, really, those things really, really upset me these days. Being called racist, Nazi, white supremacist, all those things. So upsetting. Anyway, if I'm going to leave you with my amazing film, The Caliphate. That'll be up for BAFTAs next year, I'm sure. Should we watch it together? Because it is good. Have you all seen it? Have you seen it? I hope so, because it's picking brilliant. So let's watch it.
They say convert, pay up or die, and they look you in the eye, knowing you believe the lie that inclusion was everybody's friend, when the truth now we all know that was the beginning of the end. You didn't fight back, you failed to resist, and now the country is under their fist. No sun, no fun, no sky. All the music now must die. No more thinking thoughts, Sharia council, schools and courts. Welcome to Britain under the brand new caliphate. You're no longer free. Cover your face, your hair, your feet. You're now enslaved in a British caliphate. Don't you love the British caliphate? Have one wife, 3 or 4, when they're knocking on your door, asking if you're reciting the Quran, telling you you're gay and stoning you today. No matter if you're a woman or a man, you didn't say no, you failed so it seems, and now you are under the Islamic regime. No laugh, no dance, no art. Kill animals through their heart. No more thinking thoughts, Sharia council, schools and courts. Welcome to Britain under the brand new caliphate. You're no longer free. Cover your face, your hair, your feet. You're now enslaved in a British caliphate. Don't you love the British caliphate? They steal your daughter for their wife and imprison her for life, saying she's old enough at 9. They will exterminate your dog, a scorpion to your frog. Don't complain, just keep saying you are fine. It's far too late, you're way out of time. About 10 years ago, that was the line. No Christian or infidel, the whole place feels like hell. No more thinking thoughts, Sharia council, schools and courts. Welcome to Britain under the brand new caliphate. You're no longer free. Cover your face, your hair, your feet. You're now enslaved in a British caliphate. Don't you love the British caliphate? From the cities to the town, all the people wear a frown as they hear the horrendous call to prayer. Getting elected into power every minute, every hour. By next week, a Muslim will be your mayor. No more thinking thoughts, Sharia council, schools and courts. Welcome to Britain under the brand new caliphate. you're no longer free. Cover your face, your hair, your feet, you're now